Okay, so get this.
Hmm.
Someone sent us this audio clip, right? Totally random in French.
Oh, wow.
But it's all about this idea of like, who am I? You know, that whole question of identity and self-discovery.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, who hasn't asked themselves that at some point?
Right. And the thing is, this person, they just go straight into it. Like, no hesitation, just, I don't have it all figured out. Boom.
It's refreshing, isn't it? They're not afraid to admit that. Like, it's not a bad thing.
Exactly. It's like they find something positive about not knowing everything.
Like, it's almost like they're saying, hey, this is part of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not knowing is the first step.
And they talk about how figuring out what you don't like is just as important as knowing what you do like.
It's true. Like, when you hit a wall and you're like, nope, not that, it actually tells you a lot about yourself.
It's like you're clearing the path, right?
Yeah.
Figuring out what you don't want makes space for what you do want.
They even compare it to, like, laying the foundation for a house.
Yeah.
Each no is like a brick building up to something
Yeah.
solid.
That's a great way to put it. So it's not just about knowing yourself. It's about like actively shaming who you're becoming.
Exactly. And the best part is they emphasize that everyone is kind of in the same boat. We're all just figuring it out as we go.
Yeah, they literally say, c'est ça la beauté de la vie. Like, that's the beauty of life. It's a journey, not a destination.
It's so true, though, because if you think about it, if we knew everything about ourselves from the get-go, wouldn't life be kind of boring?
Totally. But the speaker doesn't shy away from the fact that it can be a little scary, right? Like not having all the answers.
Yeah, there's definitely a vulnerability there. And I think that's what makes this person's reflection so relatable. Like
Right.
they're acknowledging that uncertainty can be uncomfortable.
Totally. Especially, I think, when it comes to relationships. Because, like, you're trying to figure out who you are, but you're also trying to figure out who you are together, you know?
Right. And they use this really cool metaphor. They talk about walking hand in hand with someone.
Oh, I liked that part. It was cute.
Yeah, but they also make a point of saying that it's not about two halves becoming one. It's more like two whole people walking their own paths side by side.
That's so important because, like, I've totally been in those relationships where, I don't know, you kind of lose yourself a little bit trying to fit in with the other person.
Well, for sure. It's really easy to do, especially if you're not totally sure of your own identity yet. But this speaker, they're really emphasizing the importance of holding on to your own journey, even within a relationship.
Yeah, they even say, c'est ta vie, c'est ton expérience, c'est ton cheminement à toi. It's your life, your experience, your own journey.
Powerful stuff.
So it's not about relying on someone else to complete you. It's about growing with someone while still staying true to yourself.
Exactly. And that, I think, is where things get really interesting because it requires constant communication, self-awareness,
Mhm.
and a willingness to let each other evolve.
This whole conversation just makes me think, like, how often do we actually stop and ask ourselves, who am I becoming? Not just, who am I, you know?
It's a subtle shift in perspective, but it can make a world of difference because it reminds you that you're not static. You're always changing and growing.
Totally. And maybe, instead of fearing that uncertainty, we could learn to embrace it. Like, what if we looked at each day as a chance to discover something new about ourselves, even something small?
I love that. What if, instead of trying to have all the answers, we focused on asking better questions? Questions that help us to learn and grow.
Because maybe, just maybe, the journey itself is the destination.
And that's something worth exploring.